Welcome, everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to determine the end behaviors of a function. How are we learning it? Through the end behaviors notes and the end behavior assignment. When can we use this information? To determine the direction a stock is trending and determine if we can anticipate that trend continuing. How do we know we learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the end behavior assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. After that, we'll go over the end behavior notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the end behavior assignment on Desmos. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your Before You Go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the reasoning with features of function study guide and any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the end behavior notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Now, what is end behavior? End behavior is the behavior of the graph as it approaches positive infinity or negative infinity. So end behavior can be written as this: as x approaches some value, and it doesn't always have to be infinity or negative infinity. It could be some value. It could be the asymptote. So as it approaches, and this negative sign means that it's approaching from the left side. So as it gets close to that point from the left side, y is approaching some value. The other version would be as x approaches that point from the right side, then y is approaching something. So an example of this would be here. So we have our function here, and we have a vertical asymptote here at -2. So we're going to say then, as x approaches -2 from the left side, what is y doing? Well, as we get closer to -2 from the left side, we can see that y is increasing exponentially. So y is approaching infinity. So as x approaches -2 from the left side, y is approaching infinity. Now, if we look at as x approaches -2 from the positive side, so from here, so from the right side, so as we get closer to -2, what is happening with the graph? Well, we can see it's going up and up and up, so y is also approaching infinity. This is how we can describe end behaviors. Now, let's take a look at some end behavior descriptions. So when asked what the end behavior is on the left side of the graph, the question is asking for the end behavior as x starts to approach some value from the left. And likewise, when it asks for the right side, it's asking for as x approaches some value on the right side, what is the graph doing? So in this case, we're looking at as x approaches negative infinity, what is y approaching? And as x approaches infinity, what is y approaching? So for instance, this is an example we did already, and we looked at -2 as our end behavior, but what about as the graph goes to negative infinity? So as x approaches negative infinity, y is approaching, and notice it's getting flatter here. It's approaching some value here, which we don't know. So we'll just call it b for now, and we know that b is smaller than 0, right? Because it's some number under the x-axis. So the y value is approaching some value here, b. Now, same thing on the right side. So as we approach infinity, as we keep going to the right, we're getting flat as well, approaching some value b, where b is the same thing as on the other side, and it is also less than 0. Let's talk now about how to sign in to Desmos to complete your work. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the link to go to the assignment, and it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. And right here where it says sign in with Google, we're going to click there. And it's going to pop up with our email accounts. You're going to click on your school email account, and it should already have you logged in because you should have already been logged in using Google Classroom. From there, I'm just going to click start the activity, and it will take me into the assignment and allow me to begin. So that's how you will log in to Desmos using Google. Let's take a look now at the end behavior assignment. The assignment begins with the learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here to take us to the Desmos activity. Go ahead and click on that link, and it should take you to a page that looks like this. We'll go ahead and click We'll go ahead and click Start the Activity. The activity begins with the learning goals and success criteria. We'll go ahead and click Next. It says, for the graph shown below, describe the end behavior of the function in words and with symbols. So it says, write in words the end behavior on the left side of the graph. So that means as x approaches negative infinity, what is y doing? Well, y is going up. So as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches infinity, right? It approaches positive infinity. So here it says, as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches, and we're going to type in infinity. Now, on the bottom, as we look here, as we go to the right, so as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. So now y approaches negative infinity because it's going down. And we'll go ahead and put that into words here, and then we put that into symbols, so negative infinity. And we'll click Next. Now we'll do that for this one, and we'll do that for each of these graphs until we get to the end of the assignment. Once you get to the end of the assignment, we'll go ahead and go back to our Google form and click Next. This will take you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and fill out your Before You Go, and then submit your work on Google Classroom.